And the next story I want to talk about, obviously, is the sudden passing, the death. I mean, let's be honest about it, chat. The suicide of Jason David Frank. I wanted to read this short article. This is from CNN, and I want to kind of get into my own thoughts about this, of course. Actor Jason David Frank, best known for starring in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV franchise, has died, according to multiple reports citing his representative. The actor died in Texas. Representative Justin Hunt told TMZ. TMZ was originally the organization that broke the news. According to People, Frank's representative asked for privacy for the actor's family and friends as they come to terms with the loss of such a wonderful human being. The representative did not provide the cause of death, although it has since been revealed that he did indeed take his life. Frank played Green Ranger Tommy Oliver in the popular 1990 series, took on various roles in subsequent Power Ranger projects. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series sparked the popular kids franchise. Most recently, he filmed Legend of the White Dragon, a film that was partially funded with a Kickstarter, included other past Power Rangers cast members. Frank was also an avid mixed martial artist. He was 49 years old. I talked about his passing recently, Chad, on Double Toasted. I am of the generation that grew up with Power Rangers, chat. Like, along with things like, Batman the Animated Series and Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain. When it came to live action children's content, Power Rangers was my bread and butter. I loved it. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and going into Zeo and then Turbo and then Space Rangers. That's when I was really watching Power Rangers. Outside that, I mean, I checked in occasionally to some of the other ones, but that was the ones that those were the Power Ranger seasons and series that I watched. And Jason David Frank was a huge part of many of those interpretations in seasons. Shed, obviously, originally appearing as Tommy Oliver in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a villain to the team, chat, but then eventually converted to an ally, and then later leader, Chad. He was the Green Ranger, and he was the White Power Ranger, and the Red Ranger, the Gold Ranger. He wore many masks, chat, and he'd always been a part of the franchise for quite some time, a cheerleader for the franchise, appearing even into late things like that now, like modern incarnations of the Power Rangers coming back, along with other actors as well from the various shows that I certainly watched, no doubt about it. And yeah, I listen. I always liked him. He would show up on even some shows that I watch, like Kind of Funny and podcasts and things, talking about his love of the franchise and the fans and his appreciation for it and other projects that he was in. And he was like, yeah, again, I guess he always came across as this, really very nice man very good man who really appreciated, the role that he had and the various projects that he was involved in. And so, to hear about this news, and this is also coming off of, the recent passing of Kevin Conroy, Chad, another fixture of my childhood. It hurts, and it hurts even more to hear that he committed suicide. And I want to be earnest about this. It's like, listen, if anything, this puts a lot of things into perspective. Like, you can have all this love from fans. 30 years worth of success and all this fan love and and all sorts of multifaceted aspects of your career, but you can still be dealing with this. And it's important to reach out to people, medical professionals, psychological professionals, people that you care about, people that you've been friends with to help you and family. And to hear that he took his own life is, very sad. It's a horrible situation. And, I'm of course wishing for the best for all of his family and friends, and what they're going through right now is probably extraordinarily difficult. But I can only, I want to thank him for what he offered, what he gave me throughout my, like all of us, who grew up watching him and watching Power Rangers, this really, fun children's show that we all emulated and had fun with and bought the action figures. That really does show his effect and legacy, is that, when we played in the playground, and everyone would be like, oh, I'm the Red Ranger, I'm the Blue Ranger. But everyone really wanted to be Tommy Oliver. everyone really loved the Green Ranger. He was the favorite of the franchise. You know, he was my favorite, Chat, and all the various incarnations that he took on, all the various Ranger personas that he was my favorite. And so, to see this, it's sad. It's very, very sad. And so, I would just say, you know, to Jason David Frank, thank you for what you did, what you were able to give people. You know, I mean, also, I mean, you know, just being kind of like a gateway. I feel like Power Rangers, I think, is a gateway to a love of mixed martial arts. It's kind of like it's multifaceted. It's a gateway to mixed martial arts, to superheroes, to sci-fi, to fantasy. It really functioned that way, and he played a big role in that. And so, yeah, I thank him for that, and you know, I wish obviously all of his friends and family the absolute best, even though I know what they're going through is awful. It's terrible, but I hope they're able to go through it and, you know, find some solace in what he was able to give the world. But yeah, that's just kind of my general thoughts on it, Chat. I'm sure there'll be more revealed over time about his death, his suicide, but his passing. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it, Chat. I mean, you know, what was your, you know, did you go over Power Rangers like I did? I remember watching the when it was airing, you know, throughout the 90s, Chat. You know, I was more familiar with Mighty Morphin, you know, Zeo, Turbo, and then Space. But I'm curious to hear about you guys. You know, what are your thoughts on the passing of Jason David Frank? You know, your love of Power Rangers, your general exposure to it. Very curious about that. Let me know.